If you'd like to see how I get from this to this, then keep on watching. All right, so getting right into this. I do have some like moisturizer on, some eye cream. I don't use a primer these days. I do want to mention that this is no like quick routine. I do like to take my time on my makeup. I have the routine down now, so I think I'm able to do it a little more quickly if I have to, but this is a full face look, full glam. It's not meant to be like, oh, natural or quick or anything like that. It can take a little bit of time, but what I wanted to do is just update you specifically on the products I'm using and even including the brushes. So I want to make a point to do that. Starting out, my go-to foundation right now is actually a skin tint. It is Maybelline Superstay 24-hour skin tint plus vitamin C. This is the bottle. And I'm mixing the shades 112 and 118. The big thing is with this product, I tried it on a beauty blender because if you've been watching, or a beauty sponge. That's how I've applied my foundation for a long time now. I did not like how this wore on my skin when I used a sponge. Ever since trying it with a brush, and this is the It Cosmetics brush, the dual-ended. It has an all-over side and then a precision side, the Airbrush Flawless Complexion Brush. This has changed the game as far as how I like how this wears. Like I said, with the sponge, I did not like it. I was almost ready to be like, you're out. But I tried it with a brush. I think I saw a review on this product and I just love how it sits. I'm gonna do a full like drop of the 118, which is more like a yellow tone, and then a full drop of the 112. I think as the seasons change, so as fall, winter come about, I'll have to change up my shades, but I've gotten really good use out of these for the summertime. So let me show you. I just kind of blot it on. And honestly, depending on the days, it kind of shows up either more yellow or more warm if I get my ratio off. But I think by the time I'm done blending it, it turns out okay. So I just like to distribute it pretty much all over, and then I'll really work it in. With this brush, I just kind of do like pouncing motions all around. All right, now that we have that all blended out, we're gonna go in with my concealer. I am using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer with a satin finish, and I'm in the shade Fair Beige. As you can see, I've been using this all summer long, and it's really come to be a favorite. I like to do just a little swipe under each eye. As you can see, I flipped over to the precision side on this brush, and we are just blending it out. I kind of like to add some brightness out here. I just spread it out. I've been going pretty heavy on the concealer these days. I feel like I'm needing it to help me out with brightness and covering some dark spots under here. So I love this side of the brush because I can kind of just swipe it on my lower lash line, almost kind of like an eyeshadow brush. It's kind of cool. I feel like I can really get it up there and really blend it out so that it doesn't like crease. So once I have it spread out and dragged down, I kind of stipple it like that. And then I do like to go on that foundation side, just do a nice press, especially around the edge where it blends with my foundation. Sometimes I'll add a little more around my nose here. Just go in close, make sure it's not building up too much under the eyes. Make sure we got a nice blend. Next, I've been using Airspun Loose Face Powder forever. I get the translucent extra coverage. Be warned, if you haven't used this, the scent is quite strong. I just feel like it does such a good job of setting underneath my eyes for me and wherever else I use it. And then I'm using this beauty blender. It's a double-sided one. I've been loving it for getting right under my under eyes. And I like to just spread it. And then I'll tap it like wherever I think I'll get oily throughout the day. I let it sit for a little bit while I go do my brows. So I use the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil in the color Taupe. Another tried and true item for me. I like this one because it's retractable. I feel like it's a really smooth application, and the shade helps tie my eyebrow hairs in with the hair on my head. So I kind of just start at the end there, and really I just like to fill in any sparse spots. Eyebrow hairs are pretty dark already, but I just like them to look a little more dark and just more defined, and just kind of shape them. And when I get to the center here, I kind of just like to flick upward, trying to make some like hair-like strokes. Once they're filled in as much as I think I like, just do a little comb through. Again, I'm not worried too much about them being super precise. A little more tweaking, I'll probably tweak them another time too. For now, we're gonna call that good. So I still have that powder. Sorry, our sprinkler system is going off. You may be able to hear that in the background. Still have that powder kind of just resting. I'm gonna let it be for a little bit longer while I move on to some eyeshadow. I like to use my bronzer. I'll talk about it a little bit more when we're on to the bronzing step. I do like to use it for my crease color. I'm using this EcoTools brush. It is the angled crease brush. It looks like this, and it works perfectly just for that, for the crease. Using this bronzer shade, I think it helps tie the look together a little bit. Plus, I think it's just the nicest shade to add some warmth up here. All right, and then for the rest of the eyes, I feel like I kind of jump all over the place. First, I'm gonna go in with this. So it's by e.l.f. I love e.l.f. products. The No Budge Shadow Stick in the color Perfect Pearl. And I've been using this in the inner corner to just brighten things up. I feel like I've been wanting something for this step for a while. But I finally found that this product, I like the color and I'm able to get right in there where I want. And really, I just like kind of smudge it in, and we'll kind of clean it up a little bit more in a moment. For the rest of my eyes, I'm going in with Morphe's Midnight Dune Shadow Palette. It has 9 shades, beautiful colors. I've really come to like this, especially for the winter time, but not only the winter time, like all year round. I'm going to start out with this middle shade. It says darker brown, called Full Gravity. I'm taking another EcoTools brush. It's an accent shadow brush. I'm going to use that for the outer corner. And I just kind of press it on the outside here, and I just pull it in, not super precisely, but just to create that dimension, and as much as I can, just make it even on both sides. Now I'm going in with this top kind of shimmery shade. This one's called Wonder Valley. I use my finger for this, and we're gonna pat that in the center of the eyelid on both sides. And then we're gonna move in with this bottom shimmery shade called Dream Drift. Take another finger, and this is where I kind of blend in that inner corner color with that middle shade. I feel like this is just like the perfect transition, and it adds like the perfect shimmer. And I'll even kind of dab on some of that color on top of that gel stick, on that shadow stick, just because that is a little more like a creamier texture, so that this shadow just kind of helps it set. I just love how like shimmery and dimensional this is, and they all blend so nicely together that I just can trust to wear it every day, and it just hasn't failed me. So I'm gonna go back in with that crease brush, just do a nice blend. Make sure all the edges are softened, nothing's too blotchy. So if you remember, we've had that powder kind of resting under our eyes. I'm gonna go back in with this and just kind of pat it out. Taking that crease brush again, I just like to swipe underneath, because any like leftover shades from up top just adds a little bit of color down here. Also, I think this helps kind of break up any of the creasing. If I have any concealer that's kind of like setting in, kind of helps break it up. Taking this brush again, this is what I use for that outer color. I'm gonna kind of swipe it on the maybe outer third of my lower lash line. There's typically some leftover shadow from up there, so I don't want it super harsh, but I want to kind of tie it together down here. Okay, I will finish up my eyes as far as eyeliner and mascara in a moment. But I like to do that as my last step, just because those products are a little more wet, and I don't want to put it on and then not let it dry and then it smudge and stuff. So I'm going to move on to finishing my face. For my bronzer and kind of contour, I use it to create any kind of shadow around my face. I'm using Physicians Formula butter bronzer. The Physicians Formula bronzing and blush formulas have become an easy favorite for me. I've used them for a while. I used to use a lot of palettes, but I was finding I was using only 2 shades and I feel like I would just waste the rest. So I went and just figured out the best shade for me. And this one works. It's been working all summer. We'll see if I need to tone it down for winter when I don't have much sun color going on. But we're gonna take the Tapered Cheek Brush by Real Techniques. Looks like this. We're just gonna pack that on. We're gonna do a little nose contouring, just adding a little bit of shadow on either side. We're gonna go up the forehead, kind of brush it into the hairline, making sure I'm doing that. That's a step I've missed in the past where it's just taking time to make sure it's blending in. Just creating kind of like a little border around my forehead. Nothing too precise, like I've been saying. I just kind of pack it in there, adding a little bit of color. I probably pull it down like to here. Just making sure I have a little bit going all the way around. Looks good, looks good. I'm gonna work my way down. So I pull a little bit here. And then for my cheeks, here's like my cheekbone. So I kind of just start at the top of my ear and honestly just swipe a little like this to kind of gauge like a starting point. And then I'll go back and just push. And I try and keep it pretty high up and not pull it down too low, just to have the cheekbones kind of stand out a little bit more. We're gonna take whatever's left, just dust it on under my lower lip. Can create a little bit of like a shadow, make your bottom lip look a little more full. Put a little bit on the end of the nose, contour it a little bit, and then I just kind of pull it around my jawline too. Going in with that blush from Physicians Formula, Butter Blush. This is called Mauve. It's part of the Mauve Mattes shade. Okay. We're using an IT Cosmetics brush that has concealer all over it. Ooh. The full title has worn off, but it is made to be a blush brush. I had purchased a number of nice, what's a better word, like high-end brushes back when I was in a pageant, because I did my own hair and makeup and stuff. And I kind of not forgot about them, but I would just use a random brush. I'm like, no, I need to make sure I'm using these. So it's been fun to pull out these, my IT Cosmetics brushes. They're just like, they do so well. So if you notice, I kind of did that like messily, just dab. Just adding a little bit of the blush color around. I'm going to put a little dot on my nose. And then I kind of tie it into wherever I did the bronzer. But I'm not adding any new product on here. I'm just kind of anything that's left over. Last couple steps. I'm using the e.l.f. eyeliner. This one is called the No Budge Retractable Eyeliner. The shade might be called Coffee, I don't know, but it's a dark brown. And what I've been doing is lining the lower and upper waterline with this. I have found that using these brown shadows and eyeliner, and you'll see mascara as well, have really made my blue eyes just like pop. And I haven't been someone who's worn eyeliner on my lower waterline in a long time. And I think it's just because I felt like the black was just so harsh. So I figured, heck, let's try brown. And I really like it. It adds definition to the eye without it looking too dark, you know? All right, and last but not least, we're using the Lash Paradise Mascara in the color Latte Brown. I just feel like the brown really does make the blue pop. Might have to go and like clean up like down here. I kind of smudged it. And that was the final step. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for my makeup look. I thought it would just be fun to walk you through the products I'm using right now. Like I said, this isn't necessarily a quick, easy, few step process. It's not. This is how it turned out. I'm gonna link everything down below, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions about other products I use, or if you'd like to see different makeup looks, anything along those lines, maybe we can talk about hair next, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys. I'll see you in my next one.